So you mean to tell me, about the tax credit, if they need a new driveway because of you had to bust it up, or to put the loops in, or a water heater, that's all covered under the 30% tax credit?
Yep.
Wow, didn't know that.
In this case, a water heater tied to the system, it's geothermally heated hot water, and that falls under the tax credit as well.
Wow. And the Marathon water heater, that's supposed to be one of the
well, it's the most efficient electric water heater you can get. It doesn't produce the heat more efficiently than any other electric resistance water heater does. It just has more insulation.
Right, because
so it
the house
retains
filled
the heat more efficiently.
Right.
Georgia Power is offering some rebates on these if you're tearing out a gas water heater, putting them in as well.
Right. Now, as far as coverage area, I know, I do some local work for you around Atlanta, but I know you go down to Florida and Alabama, and
we've done some jobs in the Panhandle of Florida, Columbus, Georgia, Macon, Georgia, Blue Ridge, Georgia, pretty much anywhere in between Anniston, Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama, Valley, Alabama.
Wow. Yeah, wasn't it the Valley I went over to?
Yeah. You helped me out with a job down in Valley. So Ralph does a very good job for us. So.
Nah. I fake it. Nah. But I think that's about it, Tim.
Okay.
So the air handler upstairs, I guess that's another question. The air handler upstairs, it is a water furnace air handler, and it's no different than a Train, a Carrier, Goodman air handler. You can mix match them, can't you?
You can. When the tax code was written in early 2009 for this 30% tax credit,
right,
what they wrote in there is that the condenser and the air handler have to be ARI matched.
Right.
That stands for Air Conditioning and Refrigeration Institute.
Right.
So for water furnace to have an air handler that's ARI matched, they had to have their own air handler.
Right.
So water furnace heat pump, water furnace air handler.
Right.
But other than that, the air handler functions and acts and looks the same as any other air handler that you might find in the attic of a home.
But of course, when it comes time for zoning, you want to match those two together.
Water furnace does have a zoning system made for water furnace units.
Right.
The beauty of that zoning system is if 2 out of 3 zones are not calling for any space conditioning, it'll actually slow down the fan motor.
Right.
Which most zone systems don't do that.
Right.
So it modulates the.
It's kind of like a communicating, different Train has their communicating stuff, and
they have a new zone system called the IntelliZone 2, and it works with the 7 series units, and it'll allow you to put 6 zones on one unit.
Wow.
Again, one of the benefits to that new 7 series.
Right. So meaning, if I have one bad room or one room or one trouble room,
yep,
and it just had a 8-inch duct in there, that could be its own zone all by itself.
That's right.
Wow. So 200 CFM on a 5-ton unit.
Not a problem.
Not a problem, because the inverter compressors.
Inverter compressor, and the fan speed is true variable speed as well.
Right.
So it modulates that fan speed and just gives what it needs to.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the advantage of having something like this over a regular unitary system.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some manufacturers do make some, but that's another video for another time.
That's right.
But anyway, I appreciate it, Tim.
Yeah.
And we got this. The only thing we didn't get running is this here, but that's pretty much.
There's no pool.
There's no pool, so we really can't do anything with this.
At some point in the future, they will connect here and back here, incoming and outgoing pool water. And this will heat that water and circulate it out. They're gonna put a pool in. It's just this is new construction.
Right.
That's one of the last things to go in.
Right. And well, yeah, I think that's about it. And like I said, it's glad we got this one up and running. Like I said, I'd go up there and show the air handler up in the attic, but there's no lights up there, and it's basically just a air handler is basically all it is.
Yeah.
Just a variable speed air handler. No different.
And a lot of people ask as well, is the ducting any different? And the answer is no. The
Right.
ducting is the same. This is not one of our higher end ducting jobs.
Right, because I've seen some that Greg has done, which is Greg is
My installer.
Tim's installer, and you know, sheet metal, and it looks good.
We can get some very nice, you know, offsets and square ducts that do a lot of different things, but that costs more money.
Right.
So it kind of is one.
We
of
are
those
still
money
working on a new construction house.
issues. Yeah, and some people, this type of duct installation doesn't bother them.
Right.
Other people, it's a pet peeve. And
Right.
we can do both. It just comes down.
So this
to
isn't a spec house.
This is new construction or custom home
Custom home for a buyer.
for a buyer. Yeah.
Okay. Now you do have some builders that it is a spec house that they're putting Geo in it.
We're just starting to get into that now.
Right.
I think the market's coming back around. You know, this is early 2013. The construction market's been hit pretty hard, and people that were still building spec homes, which is a very small minority, were being very cautious about any upgrades they're putting in.
Right.
However, we're starting to get into some spec homes again.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
It's also one of those things that geothermal is becoming more desirable, like granite countertops. You know, people are no longer looking at the surface features of a home. They're wanting to know what's behind the walls, how does it perform, how does it function.
right.
This builder that we're doing this job for, he sees that his clients are wanting more.
Right.
So it might not just be granite countertops and nice trim. Hey, look, we also have a geothermal system in the house. So
Right, of
he's
course.
hoping it helps him sell the house faster.
I know I've been to several brand new houses, and honestly, most people that buy houses, they don't really care what's heating and cooling the house
Until they move in.
until they move in and have to start paying the bills. I've seen it a lot.
Well, I think the jig is up.
Yeah.
A lot of people did that for
Right.
the last 10 years, and they moved in these homes. And the story I hear the most is you've got the bonus room over the garage that's
Oh, yeah.
always hot
Yeah.
in the summer and always cold in the winter.
Well, that's because a lot of those houses, Tim, were spec houses,
They were spec homes.
custom spec houses,
There was very little thought process
Right.
put into the construction of them.
and that's where the builder didn't want to spend the extra money to take care of that room above the garage.
It all comes down to money.
Right.
And I'm sure that air conditioning contractor was capable of designing a properly functioning system, and it just came down to the builder at that time is not willing to pay him
Right,
for
right.
that work and that extra duct and whatever was necessary.
Yeah, it can't always be blamed on the air conditioning guy. Sometimes it can, but sometimes it's a little bit of both. Sometimes the builder, sometimes the contractor, and then sometimes both of them.
I've heard the phrase blowing and going.
Right.
And they were just, you know, in 2004, 2006, you know, they were just building them as fast as they could.
Oh yeah, I use the expression. They parked the truck and threw it in from the road.
Yeah, right.
And those are the ones you hate to go to, because a lot of those houses, I know I've been in $2 million houses. And the funny part about going into a $2 million house is you can't buy mercury bolt thermostats anymore. but they have mercury bolt thermostat on the wall. It's a $2 million house. Come on.
We've priced some even today. Actually, it was an $8 million house with a $40,000 heating and air system. And, our geothermal system, properly sized, properly designed, was going to be about $180,000.
Oh, yeah.
Which actually was a really good price for that size of house, that type of budget. They ended up going with the bottom of the barrel heating and air system. And
I don't understand it.
When the homeowner's looking at that up front, she doesn't care about heating and air. She cares about what kind of granite, what kind of garage door she's getting,
the
mahogany,
faucets, countertops, the stuff you can see.
6 years from then, she's still paying $1,200, I don't know, $2,000, $5,000 a month for her heating and cooling. Then she's going to start either call me or just sell the house and make it someone else's problem.
Yeah, I know. Well, we could go on all day and talk about this. But,
yeah.
But yeah, once again, Tim from Mech. I'll leave the link and phone number and link to his website at the bottom, and give him a call if you're interested, because really basically what we're doing is there's two kind of people in the market for geothermals. Those that have done their homework and know what they want, are those that are just kind of starting to look, and they're really not, they don't know what they want yet.
They're looking for some guidance.
Right, exactly. So I do come and work on them, but I couldn't tell you everything, all the workings as far as the loop. I'm not a loop guy, I'm a service guy. But basically it's nothing more than a regular piece of equipment. So anyway, all right, well, y'all have a good one, and thanks, Tim, and I guess we'll see you the next time we need something.
Thanks, Ralph.
All right.